This is how you change the oil on a Subaru Ascent. I happen to have the Touring model, but they should all be similar. Alright, so today with the oil change, what I have here is a Fram XG7317 Ultra Synthetic Filter. So this is one of the ones that they recommend online for this vehicle. It's the right size. And then for oil, I have AMSOIL Synthetic 0W20 oil. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take off this oil filter, if we can. Alright, so we're going to remove this. I've got my little tool here. See if we can get this on here. Problem is, this is actually pretty low in here. There's not a lot of space to maneuver around it. There we go, we got it loose. All right. See if I can grab something to grab that with. There we go. So nice clean oil filter. It's only has a few thousand miles on it, but I like to change my oil a little bit early the first time. And for replacement, I have a Fram oil filter that we're going to put on here. This is the Fram GX7317, and that's the one that was recommended on the Fram website for this vehicle, which is a Subaru Ascent. So I'm going to take this glove off here. I'm going to grab some of the fresh oil that I have, which is AMSOIL 0W20 synthetic. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on here. Use my finger. On the seal, as you should always do when you're working with these. You should always put a little bit of oil on the seal, and I'm going to put this down on here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to clean this up a little bit first. Hold on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put paper towel down here and just clean up the excess oil that's around here. And that way, after I get this down, so it's making contact now. I'm going to turn it an extra quarter of a turn right now. So there we go. It's pretty snug, but not real snug. But that's done. So I already have the cap off down here for the oil, which I took off to add oil. I'm going to grab my funnel, but I'm not quite ready for oil yet. I just opened the valve on the bottom, but I have not shut it yet. So I'm going to just put this valve in here. This is a little tight in here, much tighter than my old car. So you have to kind of be able to wedge it in there, just so you know. All right, so now we're going to go underneath and we're going to put the Fumato valve in, hopefully. All right, so here is where the oil filter is. Now I've got my car up on blocks. I've got one of the wheels caulked in the back. And we're coming underneath here. And it's up underneath here. If you can see it right there is the plug. So I'm going to move my catch pan. That way we have the catch pan here. And I'm going to reach up, and what I found that fits is this 14 millimeter nut on there. So I'm going to use that to take this off and drain all the oil out. All right, so I ordered from Fumato this M20 or F105S, which has a 20 millimeter thread. It looks like the Subaru has a 16 millimeter thread, which is what some people recommended online. So I'm not going to be able to use this in my car this time. I'll have to replace it next time. So I'm going to put this back in, which still has the crush washer on it. But next time I'm going to put in the Fumato valve, which I really like these valves. I found them to work really well in my Xterra when I had it. And it looks like because of how far up this plug is, this is not going to be sticking out the bottom for those people that go off-roading or to the beach and stuff. You shouldn't have any issues with it whatsoever. So I'm just going to put the plug back in and fill it back up. I just finished up the oil change here, so as you can see I have the new filter on. This is where you fill out the oil. Right here, there's the oil cap, you just unscrew it. And then to check your oil levels, that's your dipstick right here. So those are the three things that you need on top to pay attention to. And then I showed before the plug underneath. I just want to say that this was actually, a lot of these things, and I found this on my last car too, are well over torqued when you take them to a mechanic or the dealership, and they really tighten these things down way more than they should be. I mean, I've seen them do it where they'll do a full turn and a half on here and really tighten these things down more than they need to be. I just took it for a little test drive here. I don't see any leaks at all around it. I didn't see any leaks coming out of the bottom, although I have it parked in my garage, which has a nice floor like this, so I can easily see it. I checked the oil. It was, when I took out the dipstick, I can't do it now because I only have one hand, but when I took it out, I put in 4.5 quarts, but it seemed like on this that it was still saying it was halfway. I don't know if it could use all 5 or what, so I'm going to wait a little bit. I only took it for a short test drive of maybe like half a mile or something, so I'm going to wait till a little bit longer, and then I'm going to check that again and see if it's still low. If it is, I'll probably add some more oil. So as far as the tools I needed, I think you saw, but I needed a wrench to get this off. This was pretty hard to get off as well. It doesn't click like my other one. This one just keeps screwing and it'll just keep tightening down. So it's kind of I kind of like the ones that click a little bit. The dipstick was no problem. For me, as you know, I mentioned the Fumato valve for the bottom, so I made a huge mess on my garage floor because I am so used to having one. For 13 years I've been changing cars with Fumato oil valves, and it just spilled out all over the floor underneath the car. It was a huge mess I had to clean up because I forgot how much force comes out when you take the plug out of the regular drain plug for the oil pan. But I did have to put that back in because the Fumato valve that I bought, which was 20 millimeters, does not fit. I need a 16. So I'm going to write to Fumato and probably give them a call and tell them it looks like that they recommended the wrong one, because I think that somebody online had recommended, hey, it looks like Subaru uses these 20s, you probably need that, and that's not it. So, but overall the car is very easy. It's very clean. They have this right here on top. It drains out perfectly. Underneath here, I'm just going to move real quick here. Underneath here they actually have a hole. You can't see it right now, it's just black under here, I can tell. But they actually have a hole underneath there to drain out the oil through, so you don't have to take off the pan, which is really nice. My last car had a hole that you had to take off a piece of the pan. It never worked right. It leaked all over the pan. You ended up taking the entire pan off. So, but that's the oil change for this car. Hopefully this is educational. If you don't understand anything about this, take it to a mechanic and just get it done. There's no reason for you to mess everything up just because you want to try it. If you do, that's fine, but don't feel like just because this is on top and it seems pretty easy that you have to do it. I mean, I've taken other cars to mechanics too if it's a little bit more difficult. So, but hopefully that's been informative. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Thank you.